premise was Fritz the Night Owl was from this planet Zontar, and he landed on the Channel 10 television tower, and when everybody was gone at night, he would go into the film department and steal movies and show them from this tower. So when I didn't have like really good visuals, it was the tower set.
Right.
So I would be on the tower and say a PBY Catalina would fly back, and I would just talk about the movies from the tower, but that still fit the character and related to the movie somewhere.
One thing that I saw in some of these were some interviews that you did with people who had shows that were coming on CBS or whatever. And
that was
these people could not do this straight faced. They would look at you with these glasses and your wonderful voice, and they were breaking up. They couldn't do this interview.
I am honored to say I completely destroyed the lady that played. She was the blonde on Cagney and Lacey. I interviewed not Tyne Daly, but the blonde girl, and she was in some other series. But Cagney and Lacey. I forget which one she was, but she... Sharon Glass.
Yes.
Oh, terrific lady. But I mean, she really broke up with the glasses, as did Diane Sawyer.
Yes.
And I mean, this was...
Diane Sawyer, she couldn't even finish it. But I think you finished it for her.
Yeah. Well, that was... And another thing, say like at Ohio State, when I was studying radio, TV, theater, one of the things they said about interviewing is never, ever, ever ask a question that can be answered yes or no, unless it's a question like, did you kill so-and-so? Otherwise, you ask, how did you do? Why did you do? What did you think? How do you feel about? Where they couldn't answer yes or no, and they'd have to give you like a sentence or a couple of sentences. We did a thing, Tony Randall was on the same thing. It was a CBS would spend a weekend where they would get the local TV stations from Columbus and Dubuque and Duluth, Des Moines, and we'd go to Chicago, and they'd bring in the stars of the new series or the shows that were returning, and they'd give each station 15 minutes with them, and in that 15 minutes they could say, okay, we want you to do promos for our news. So Sharon Gless would say, hi, Sharon Gless, I'm with Cagney and Lacey, seen Thursdays at 10 on WBNS 10 TV, and by the way, stay tuned for Night Owl, or for Action 10 News at 11 with I forget the newscast, Bill Pepper, Chet Long, and Joe Holbrook. And so some people just wanted that, and then other people wanted interviews, and I wanted the interviews that I would show on Night Owl. And anyway, Tony Randall came in, and the lady before me, there would be 4 of us in the shooting suite. Well, Randall came in, and this lady asked nothing but yes or no questions. And Randall was kind of nice, but a snotty guy. He said to them, yes, no, maybe, I don't think so, no. And all of us in the state were just cringing. So I was lucky in the sense that my first question to Tony Randall was, how did it feel when you'd go to auditions and you would be auditioning against Paul Newman and James Dean and people like that? And he looked at me. He said, you think I'm that young? And I said, well, yeah. He said, oh, no. He said, I was in the class with Charlton Heston and Gregory Peck. He said, and those were the people I had to audition against. And he said, you know, when I was taking these acting classes, Charlton Heston and we'd come out and there'd be like 10 movie scouts waiting for Gregory Peck to come out to see who could sign him. And he said, Charlton and I would have to, and others people would that are now big stars, we'd have to hope we could end up as a spear carrier on some Broadway play. But Gregory Peck, and he was so delighted that I thought he was that young to be in the Paul Newman, James Dean, Steve McQueen thing, yeah.
So how many Emmys were you nominated for, and how many did you win?
I've been nominated for, I have to say about 25. I've won 6. The last one was about 2012. And then I was nominated again but didn't win. And then another year I wasn't nominated, but I was nominated this year. And this coming Saturday I'll know whether I've won Emmy number 7. But the 21st century version of the old 10 TV version won 5 out of about 20 nominations, and the new Night Owl 21st century version has won 1 out of 4 submissions.
And how did it all end? the 17 years, you were just tired of doing it, right?
Oh, no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
The program director we had retired. And the new guy that came in, his first words to me were not, "Hi, I'm glad to meet you, my name is blah, blah, blah." His first words to me were, "I want you to know I don't like movies on television." And 2 weeks later, 14 of us were fired.
Wow.
But they said, "Oh, downsizing because of budget." Well, their budget they spent on salesmen's lunches what we made in a year, the 14 of us. And so then it was just apply for jobs. And I had some like things I would do. I was a newspaper columnist. I would review music, do music reviews, jazz reviews, and I would got the idea to do movie reviews on shows that were now available on videotape. Figuring that, okay, these movies came out in the theaters about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now it's available on VHS or videotape. So I'll do a review. People will have forgotten. So I did that, and I did some part-time radio regularly. Great jazz show. Well, I did the jazz show after Night Owl Theater. I did that for 10 years at CD 101 and then 10 years at WJZA. And the JZA show ended in 2010. And again, to show you the business, it was like I did my show on the Sunday night, and I said, finish it. I said, see you next Sunday night, same time, same tower. And then the Friday before the next Sunday, about 4:30 in the afternoon, station calls and said, "Oh, by the way, we changed formats at noon today. Night Owl Jazz no longer exists. Will you mail us our key back?"
Mail it back.
Mail back the key that, because they had like a card key that would let us in the building. So if you want security, don't go into radio, TV, theater, or movies.
But that's always been that.
Yeah.
I think.